right now, Rookie is the best mid laner in the world. And it's on Caps to prove everyone wrong and say that he can actually beat him.
And I think the reason I really have always appreciated Rookie's mid lane style is how far forward he plays the lane without getting shut down by ganks. He is a very consistent mid laner at forcing people out and being proactive.
Well, I agree with you. I just saw the Rakan first pick, and to me, Xayah first pick is the safe option. Because Rakan is where there's a lot of support you can pick against him. Leona, we have seen quite a bit, be very successful. Will Invictus Gaming go Kaisa? Do they take away the Xayah? It is Kaisa for now, so they might give Xayah Rakan over to Fnatic.
Have done so unless I've got something else lined up for this next pick here. The JackeyLove feeling confident in the pick despite the pretty strong showings from the Xayahs into Kaisa in particular.
I wonder if Baolan just goes Braum here. I mean, he doesn't have to take it in this pick right now. He can take it in the third. Otherwise, it will probably get banned away. We've seen Braum stand up okay in the lane. But I do think this... Ooh.
I mean, that's the pick we always see against Rakan right now. At level 6, this lane, Leona and Kaisa, is super scary. Before that, you can definitely do well with Fnatic Xayah Rakan lane that we're expecting to see.
And I do like the pick into Rakan in isolation, but I do think that late game it does struggle into Xayah, because Xayah has so many answers to what Leona's kit has, and unlike Lucian where you follow her and able to go in there, Xayah just becomes untargetable and then holds you in place. If you cannot close the second gap as Leona, you kind of just wander around in the middle of the team fight.
And I guess with the Rakan first pick, Fnatic said, we know you will pick Kaisa over the Xayah, but we don't want you to take Kaisa plus Rakan. And therefore, they first pick Rakan on the Fnatic side and can grab Xayah after. Sion will always be the preferred pick for them. I think a lot of teams are like, we love Sion as the #1 pick, and Ornn is then the #2 pick. You can then argue which one you prefer, safe engage, or more like all-in potential.
Well, my favorite thing about all this is that we've left mid-jungle open all the way to phase 2. So going to see continued pressure here in the ban phase. LeBlanc taken away from Caps.
And I think this is more interesting for IG, because I would not be all that surprised if they do get Rookie something strong here and then hold Ning's pick, because Ning has been one of the few junglers that has shown something like a Zac, something a little bit more late game teamfight focused. And in Ning's credit, he performed very well in that game. So I would be interested to see where IG's priority lies. Obviously, the safe option is to allow the counter pick for Rookie, but there are other things to do.
I mean, for the hype of the matchup, getting last pick for Rookie would be pretty ideal for IG, unless they just grab Syndra. Like, they ban LeBlanc, there's normally one that picks against the Syndra, and if they do that, they can wait with the jungle pick, as you highlighted on IG's side, because otherwise it's Caps who needs to find a blind pick, and that's kind of rough against a mid laner like Rookie who can play everything.
Certainly is, but Skana will be the next ban there for IG. So again, some jungle being taken out. Ning will lose Camille and Zac in this phase. So we'll see what IG are thinking. A very pivotal pick in the draft here for Invictus.
Still a lot of the early game junglers available, as in Zhao, Olaf, Talia are here in the draft. I think this makes a lot of sense. We're saving that pick for Rookie, especially now that Zac got banned away, if that actually was one of the potential last picks for them.
Looks like Olaf duty though for Broxah. Happy to take it here. Seen a lot of it so far throughout the tournament. Syndra not as much, but has been relatively successful, and Ning should be happy to have another high-pressure jungler to match.
And eyes are going to be on Broxah this game, because he needs to be able to get vision on the Xin Zhao and then be able to outpace him around the map. Olaf farms, you know, unrivaled at this stage, and if they can control the 1-5 of Xin Zhao, he's better late game than what he was since the changes to his ultimate, but you're never going to say that he really is a late game carry in that position. Needs to have some influence over the map.
So what blind pick do we get for Caps? It is Swain on his side, unless they want to put the Swain top lane and have the Sion mid, depending on what Rookie gets to play.
How disappointed will you be if Caps plays a full tank Sion mid?
It would not be super hype for the matchup, but this is not about the mid lane hype, it's about winning games for Fnatic and IG.
And there is Syndra for Rookie, so no hyper-explosive mid lane matchup, but still will be a lot to watch between these two players. Part of me is disappointed, okay, a lot of me is disappointed actually, I'll say, but again, still a lot to learn from these two players who are very good no matter the class of champion they're playing.
I still think this is a fairly large gauntlet thrown by Fnatic, because this is a comp that says to me, if we can make it past 25 minutes, we have so much zone control, we have so much ability to just turn a team fight on a dive and be able to engage on you if we can live through the Leona counter pick, the priority that the Syndra is going to draw towards the mid lane and the push, then we have the opportunity to be able to draw out these team fights and win the game.
Well, on IG's side, they have Kaisa, and people consider Kaisa the best late game AD carry you can have, so it's not like their scaling is bad either. Also with Ornn specifically as that great engage, I actually feel like both compositions, there's a lot of engage on both sides. There's front lines with the 2 tanks in top lane, and then there's just a ton of damage being packed.
And in general, we talk about both these teams as having so much individual talent, setting up for team fights was Fnatic's strength domestically as well, especially moving in towards playoffs. IG maybe known a little bit more for their individual prowess and can get a bit sloppy in those mid to late game situations, but again, given the strength of these comps and these players, even if the game goes later and we get even, it's going to be very fun to watch.
It's very true, and that was kind of one of the big questions for me regarding Fnatic going into Worlds, and especially the matchup against IG, because Fnatic, one of the big reasons they are the best team fighters in Europe is they have the 2 best carries in Rekkles and Caps. Is that going to be the same on the international stage? Rookie, JackeyLove on the other side, they have to show it.
We'll see if they can get it done here. Both teams looking to remain undefeated in that group with only 1 game played. And if you didn't hear them before, by the way, they were cheering for EDG. They'll continue cheering here for IG. The Chinese fans in the crowd
sounds like Fnatic.
So loud.
And whilst there are questions for Fnatic, I feel like the teams that qualify to Worlds on points, that second seed, that funny seed that just got here somehow, people didn't even really realize how they ended up here. Invictus Gaming was that from the LPL. This is a team that had a very good record against RNG throughout the regular split. Sure, RNG wasn't necessarily playing Uzi in a lot of those games, which is a lot of the power, and they were taken down in the finals, but they have shown windows of brilliance throughout the whole year of the LPL.
Oh yeah, 18-1 record. Rookie, the MVP in the summer split, won an insane performance in so many of the games. We actually get a move in here from Ning.
Ning actually already getting aggressive. sOAZ did charge up the Q and hit Duke as well. Caps are going to miss that first E.
But as we see on the screen right now, I just mentioned Rookie being the MVP in the LPL. Caps, of course, the MVP in the EU LCS, and that's why this mid lane matchup is so hyped up. Both these guys are insane at how they can actually execute mechanically on a lot of champions. Swain is probably not the most flashy pick Caps could go for, but he had to blind pick, and that was kind of the issue. Luckily for Fnatic, they will get a game on red side as well later here in the group stage, but for now it's Rookie with the counter pick. Syndra plus Ignite on his side. See if he can put some pressure on Caps.
And just watching the little things those laners do, we enjoy to study as the game moves on, but for now, Rekkles and Hyli getting aggressive. Baolan's like, yeah, I don't think so. JackeyLove with a good amount of damage onto that Rakan.
That was the most classic Hylissang thing ever. Like, there's actually nothing he can do in that level 1, but he's like, yeah, you know what? Let's see what happens.
Maybe if they don't expect it, it will work.
True. And, he took a lot of damage.
Has some potion, rolls the dice there. Obviously also going to struggle in the shove as Ning just goes buff to buff here to Deficio.
Not the way you might think, however.
And this is a punish I think we'll see more often from single target clear junglers, just because Olaf, and you mentioned it last game, prides his Krog take speed because it is just such the highest experience value on the jungle right now.
Cap with a very nice max range E though, is going to take some trade damage back from Electrocute.
Remember, Caps is not running Ignite, so there's not a lot of kill pressure for him here in the lane. But yeah, this is what we see from a lot of Olaf players. They do just the entire bot side jungle, especially with the Crocs here. Ning knew that. That's why he could invade and secured the blue buff on top side. He's walking past mid lane. He will not be spotted, so they don't 100% know if he's actually sitting with double buffs. Probably expecting it at this point.
In saying that, if Broxah gets access to Ning's top side now, so if off that wave-hitting turret, Caps can now get a push into Rookie. You can already see the Sion pressuring up lane very hard. Then he can take another Krug Raptor Camp, which once again, very high experience values, and should catapult Broxah into an experience league.
I think the funny thing is they're just taking the camps that are best time to take. Although Ning is taking a detour here, looking for the bot side pressure. This is something I've seen many times back in the LPL, and they are going to try and look for the dive here. They want Rekkles TP in from Fnatic, but Rekkles getting low. He's already ignited, and that's first blood easy as you please for IG.
Really nice play from Ning here. Steal the blue buff, then path to bot side and set up a play here with his bottom lane. I think Fnatic had to stay on the turret if they wanted to TP down.
Ooh,
Here we go.
Caps got Costa stun there. The Huffing Orb is there. Rookie missed the next Dark Spear, forces the flash, and those minions almost take down Caps, but he stays alive.
Quick feats right there, juking around, saving the flash as well for that last hit. Rookie did not get the kill.
But he is very close. Now, all of a sudden, no teleport in the lane, playing on the back foot. And this is why he doesn't have a teleport. It's actually too much of a split, because as soon as Hylissang is this far back, as he walks back towards the turret, means Rekkles actually has to turn around to collect his support, ends up going down.
It's one of the big problems, again, when you blind pick that Rakan, Leona coming in against it. Early on, you can look for some plays, especially with a strong jungler. And IG are showing us exactly why they're considered the best early game team in China.
And we are going to see more of the early game Kaisa build. We're going to see the Storm Razor come out. We've seen so much, actually, of the Ginsu's Rage Blades so far in this tournament. Internationally, Storm Razor started to pop up as a way to answer some of the one-item spikes that can come out. And I think this is a good move, given the fact that Baolan is playing this laning phase well so far.
And just again, double win, as you highlighted before, with Caps TPing down. He had to cancel, but it meant he couldn't use it back to lane. So he effectively just lost a summoner spell against the Ignite on the side of Rookie. And you can see that also in the CS difference here. Not a good start for Fnatic.
Odds that that Dark Seal turns into a Magi's by the end of the game.
Pretty high.
All right, I like it.
Rookie, though, he's going to get collected by Caps' claw, but again, just trading back and forth and chugging some potion charges. Caps is getting a little bit more traction back, but Rookie is an expert at trying to deny here. See if he can extend that CS lead, as Ning is back to the scene of his first crime.
And that's when I say, Pastry, whilst we would love to tell the story about the mid laners winning this game, one more gank into this bottom lane, and the mid lane actually might become irrelevant, as Ning's going for it.
Oh, flash. Zenith play doesn't quite connect. Hilly got the time up, and Ning just surfs past him back onto Rekkles. They're going to dive here. You have to think, as Rekkles getting low. JackeyLove needs one more auto. He does grab it, and Broxah a hair too late to turn it around.
It's all about the bottom lane for Ning right now. The Leona pick to try and set it up, and then you can just flash onto Rekkles, who had to use a defensive flash when the fight started. IG, they do not care about anything else other than just camping the bot lane right now.
And it's a very good calculated camp. You can see that even though that's twice turret though, still even in CS with the Olaf, and actually ahead in experience at this stage, you can see that Broxah just ticks over to that level 5 mark. So Ning is optimizing his path.
Oh my god, JackeyLove! Take a bow!
That was the second classic Hylissang move. He likes to try and interrupt the enemy AD carry from going back, so Rekkles gets a bit of free time in lane. This time around, ends up being way too greedy. This is the first play, by the way, in the bottom lane. Force the flash. Ning knows, okay, he just needs to flash past the CC, and he will get onto Rekkles, land the knock-up. This is great early jungling from Ning, and great setups in the bot lane.
It certainly is, and you can see that Broxah just a little bit too late to that play. I now understand why VODS didn't want to answer what side of the coin that landed on, because I don't think he got the side of the coin that Hylissang is popping off this game.
Oh boy, JackeyLove. I mean, relatively straightforward as you watch it back, but maximum punish there from the Kaisa as JackeyLove jumps on the Rakan and shreds him to pieces.
And now Fnatic's only choice feels like either one Olaf gank, or you have to try and just stop the bleeding. The problem is Ning doesn't need to stop. He can keep doing what he's doing right now. Rookie's winning mid with the counter pick and his Ignite on his side. And down the bot lane, they've done everything they need to do.
The one thing I do like to see teams do when you have a Sion top lane that is getting this push time and time again, is just break up the 2v2. You're already losing the 2v2. Try and get your bottom lane a good recall. Can be off a big wave like this and then send them top lane. Instead, they're going to just look to dive bot.
All right, let's see how IG deflect this, if they even can. It's 4v2 under the turret. Rekkles not going to get hit by the blade, but JackeyLove, killer instincts out. He's still kiting under the turret. He will get stunned up, but he gets a trade kill in the dive. Baolan now trying to live, but he will also be taken down by Rekkles, grabbing a much-needed double kill.
Very important here that sOAZ, as you highlighted, Spawn, used this advantage to help his team. Oh, they're trying for more.
Ning pops his ulti, but is actually going to die under the turret. That was an oopsie, although sOAZ will die as well.
That should be turret now also with the zombie Sion. Fnatic instantly bounced back with a couple of kills, 2 for Rekkles.
Yeah, big brain play there out of sOAZ, because what he did is he actually used that shove to not have to teleport back to lane. You can see right now that Duke used his teleport to get up back into that lane, continue to fight for experience. sOAZ knows, as the Sion, he's never solo carrying this lane, so instead, he uses his advantage to help out the other side of the map.
Well-timed stun there onto Caps for Rookie, who is building a very substantial CS lead right now. But we have this to watch instead. It's presented by Acer Predator.
Man, this play was so important. The game was getting out of hand for Fnatic, but they used the TP from sOAZ. Actually, right back live. Must be a fight mid.
Looks like it. There's a good ult, but Caps is going to try and get a little bit of health back.
Leona's coming
down. Nice W. The slow is good, but Baolan with a Hex Blast over the wall. He's going to try and make it happen. He's seen this Hylissang. He's trying to kill him down, but Baolan doesn't have ulti and didn't really pick up the target. Caps, double value claw as Ning dives his way back through. Hylissang again does the Hylissang, but not the one we love to see.
And it's just so close. You can see Rookie at the start of the play. Nothing really going in Fnatic's favor right now. But one more time, IG get the better trade.
And here comes Ning into the jungle, getting aggressive once again. Gets some of the camp, but he's just going to back away. And this game is starting to get pretty high speed between these two teams.
So many fights already. We know IG wants to keep forcing the plays, and Fnatic, they're trying to match here. I think in the mid lane, it actually looked okay after Rookie ran out of mana. But then, because you had so many other IG members showing up, Duke especially, and Baolan, Hylissang didn't need to chase, but he looked at that low HP target. He saw the kill in his eyes.
Yeah, that's certainly one of those Lee Syndrome-esque moments where everyone else on the team is like, what are you doing? And he's like, don't worry, boys, I got him. Send me in. And I think this very scary thing to look at right now is the fact that Global Gold heavily in favor of Fnatic. They took down that first turret. However, when you look at where the gold's starting to pile up, 30 CS lead mid lane.
Yeah.
3 kills as well as 20 CS for JackeyLove right now. And they're ahead in gold. There is just so much more. There's actually not. Where is it located?
I mean, 700 gold right now on the Syndra.
Yeah.
And that is basically, that's a large part of the gold lead, at least.
I think still, though, again, you don't really expect as Kaisa to be this even with your opponent in this kind of matchup. So IG happy to take, again, the late game carry that we've talked about all worlds long and will continue to do so when she gets through in draft. JackeyLove has to be happy in this situation because they're playing with pressure in a lane where they probably didn't expect to get it.
And you can see time and time again that Ning is still just marching towards this duo lane, understands that his win condition right now is to continue the good laning phase that they have been able to achieve. Interested to see if they actually start this objective because we've seen it go poorly if you don't have the right resources spent around it, I think is a nice way to put it.
Well, there's no summoners on Caps, so Rookie is in full control of mid. That means you could start Rift Held and Rookie can always move in first. Caps can't really face check anything. He might just get destroyed. He's trying his best to dodge around all the damage from Rookie, but he's still constantly forced to sit at his turret and just farm.
And that means that Rookie will go topside here and try and help out Ning in a potential 4-man dive. Duke perhaps overextended here in the bot side of the map. There's the Sion ulti going to charge up. Duke with the flash, but he's going to try and bend around the first bit of play. But Broxah, surprising in the brush, is going to grab the kill.
sOAZ baited that one. He was recalling right in front of Duke, being like, yeah, nothing's going to happen. Then Broxah runs in mid.
Look on board, Hylissang, Rookie with the flash, going to have to bend and try and get away. A wonderful double scat of the week. We'll stop that gank in mid side, and IG are here rallying. Fnatic might be too far forward. Here comes Baolan, ready for the solo play. Doesn't quite grab it, but Caps, he went too far forward. There's a dummy from JackeyLove. Killer Instinct is going to charge in and pick off Fnatic's mid laner.
And you can see that Fnatic know they need to make the play, but this time they go a little bit too far forward. See where the IG continue.
Don't do it to me again, Hylissang. IG looking to take the mid out of tower. Fnatic looking to defend. Pull back on the feathers. Roots up too. IG will have to wait another wave.
It's kind of been the story in the mid lane, though. Whenever they've tried to kill Rookie, they end up overextending. First play was Hylissang, second one was Caps. He wanted to try and land the root, but Rookie, he was safe under that turret. And then suddenly the Swain is left without flash, all alone in the front line.
And I think when people have asked, you know, what has changed in the LPL? Like, why is the LPL so much more successful this year than years previous? You look at plays like that, where it looks like that should have been a kill, but the team is already moving down the river as this engage comes. They are so much more proactive on the map.
Yeah, the fact that Rookie gets this double knockback is so huge. Means there's no more follow-up damage. And here, Cap needs to respect, of course, that he doesn't know what's happening in the river. He walks forward thinking there are 4 players of Fnatic's side, but that was not a good play. And he just got punished for it.
And one more time, gold going over onto the member that you do not want it to go over. If you are the Fnatic lineup right now, JackeyLove still maintaining that 20 CS advantage, but now you know, with an extra kill, is starting to pick it up. And interesting move out of Fnatic. I actually like when teams do this against Syndra. Get your first item, put her in a side lane, make her deal with the longer portion of the map, and try and punish the fact that Rookie just had to burn flash.
Also Siege here in mid lane as dual lanes find themselves trying to protect these outer turrets as best they can. But again, lots of map movement here. There's been plenty of action so far in this game. It's still only 1,000 gold ahead for IG, still waiting to try and take down some of these turrets. I mean, we've talked about some of the mishaps here and there, but the gold is still very close between the two sides.
So looking at a Rift Herald here for IG, they know they have the advantage top side. sOAZ does have TP, but so does Duke on his side, and Fnatic, they're moving in, but they're not cooldowns.
Xayah finds one solo play. He's going to follow up, and that's Hylissang still going to die despite dashing out of the way. Broxah also the next target lined up as JackeyLove is unrelenting in these aggressive ultimates.
Corrupting Potion OP there. I actually think it was a Corrupting Potion tick that picked up the kill on the back end of it for Rookie. You can see that they still just maintain priority over the objective, not trying... They're actually trying to bait them in for another fight here.
sOAZ is on its way. He can ult towards them. Caps can get in there.
Could be tough here. Duke ready with the TP and the ultimate needs to actually join the area in order to be effective. Fnatic maybe thinking they can't really poke their way in. They'll give Ning the Herald and they'll just back away.
But it's very interesting to see in this game how IG, they're ready to take every single fight against Fnatic. And in Fnatic's mind, the answer is we need to fight back. They try and go in here to stop a Rift Herald with 2 members only. Very squishy. Rakan was 0-4. And they just get punished because their turn is so quick on the side of IG. Fnatic are trying to play the LPL style against IG. And that's not exactly where Fnatic will be stronger.
And I think that the impressive thing is that IG has set up the objective. You see, they had vision over that wall. As soon as they funneled into the choke point, Baolan knew where they were going to come from, and there was an obvious call of we are turning before we prioritize the objective. Whilst the Rift Herald is nice, being able to snowball the game through a couple of kills onto our primary carries is what we are currently looking to do to accelerate the pace of this game.
Now we have Luden's Echo, Magic Pen boots on Rookies. Probably going to get Oblivion Orb as well very soon, and then you can just one-shot the Fnatic backline. This Syndra is very, very formed. And then you have JackeyLove next to you with 4 kills, 3 assists on a Kaisa.
He's not so far away from the Rage Blade at this point. And it looks like there is a Drake to take as well. Fnatic have started the Cloud already. Kind of lining themselves up for this. Duke with the Ornn ulti. Rekkles does get the Drake, but IG have already started a pretty decent fight. Broxah will Ragnarok and walk away, and IG actually don't find follow-up.
And that's a nice Drake take. However, they've lost priority of the mid lane wave, and now all of a sudden JackeyLove can go towards it, start pushing. You see, they lead the support and tank members in the jungle to try and corral them away from being able to get back in. This could be a turret for a dragon, which is in IG's favor.
Got Rift Herald as well, so maybe make it 2 as IG will move their jungle back around. Mid turret pretty low here. Rookie with a good double stun. Maybe looking on to Caps as Caps did find a double pullback. Rookie is low. He's going to take that last tower shot, but will live as a turret. Goes down to JackeyLove. Hylissang, no, he's trying to find someone as Rookie. Does not grab that stun. He dives in, he gets the kill with his Ignite, but he is going to pay for it with his life. Baolan, though, caught up to the other side as Fnatic finally pick up a favorable trade.
Yeah, they got 2 kills right there. Rookie took so much damage from the turret, and he couldn't do anything but stand there. He was CC'd at first, knocked up, then rooted right after. He was instantly out of the fight. And Fnatic, they do get 2 kills, but they still lost the mid lane turret. And now Ning will try and 1v1 top.
Can he do it, though? This is a risky play.
There's
no ultimate available.
Maybe it's going to take some CS instead, not diving straight onto Caps just yet. And Broxah coming up top side probably means Ning is just doing a bit of babysitting.
Potentially wanted to just go up there and nurse the way away from the turret, make sure it didn't crash in time. Actually, he just takes the farm. Like to see that in a jungler.
All right, so Rookie gets the aggro from the turret with the knockback, and then he gets rooted into a knockup from sOAZ. So that's why he's so low. Caps was in the stopwatch, so he couldn't actually die right there. And Hylissang, he tried this a few times. This time he gets onto the backline and trades his own life for Rookies.
And the crucial thing about Hylissang's play is, yes, it's great that he grabs the kill. He did give his life away immediately to reset that shutdown bonus. However, he got multiple flashes there, able to pick up Jukes, able to pick up... Actually, didn't get Rookies on the back end. I thought he burnt the flash, so that is an area now, not even really, because it's just Jukes that you could have potentially looked to tackle. I think that this unrelenting pressure from IG does need to talk about. They're grouping up as a 4-man unit much more often that I think people are expecting to see. They've done it bottom lane a couple of times. Now they're just rotating around JackeyLove and Baolan, continuing this pressure.
Yeah, we know when they're not playing this shy, it's a lot less about the 1-3-1. Hila is alive.
Rookie almost picks up the kill over the wall, but not quite enough to grab it.
Did he use the scatter?
I don't.
There? Doesn't look like it.
Hylissang has a bit of MR on his side as well. Rookie ends up not getting the kill, but IG got another turret top lane. They are ahead in this game. They've been winning most of these fights, but Fnatic are trying their best to hold on.
Still, again, only 2,000 gold up for IG, which is nice, but again, not a massive gold lead. JackeyLove, though, been a little accelerated as Ning is going to dive in onto the Sion and force sOAZ to burn the ulti.
And the important thing is that whilst they're a couple of thousand gold down, they do have easy ways to start up fights, to generate picks. So if they do regain control of a portion of the map, if they get somewhere first, they can generate an advantage for themselves. And I think that's why IG is sticking to this group up, death ball kind of composition.
Yeah, again, it's what we mentioned just briefly before here. When you play Duke, he's on a tank, you want a team fight. Like, that is the way you're going to play out this game. Kaisa is not a split pusher, Syndra is not a split pusher, so it is going to be just team fights. Fnatic, it's basically team fights on their side as well. When they're behind, they're not allowed to put Swain in a side lane for too long. So it's going to be 5-on-5s against each other. Extremely action-packed game so far, but it's still IG in the lead. They're looking for something in the jungle.
Rifthold also still applying pressure in the bot lane, but maybe Fnatic have found a pick here. Here comes the Ornn. Ning dives straight into the backside. Baolan picks up Hilly, and Caps is now going to have to run for the hills. JackeyLove, though, instantly going to dive in and try and snipe down this mid laner.
And the team fight just looks so easy for IG. When you face check the vision, when you don't have complete eyes on where everyone is, they just have control of when the fight starts, and JackeyLove is so accelerated.
They're going towards Baron right now. They still got Rifthold pushing in the bottom lane. 3 Fnatic members alive. Hylissang spawns in a few seconds, but Baron's going to get started 21 minutes in.
Don't often have Rage Blade for the Kaisa this early, so IG think they can burn it down pretty quickly.
And Baolan is enough turn that they can keep Duke on the Baron. So this is a very safe objective. In they go.
So it's fine for Bexco, a massive amount of damage there. Rookie forced the flash out of the way, but they will get the pickup. JackeyLove picks up another kill, but it's pretty chaotic here around the pit. The carry's not that healthy. Rekkles in mid, actually pushing in, did take a turret.
sOAZ the one-man army right now for Fnatic. What a game from him. He stops the Baron, smacks head first into JackeyLove. All of IG ends up recalling. They lose the mid lane turret. And that's the crazy thing about this game. It feels like IG are winning the fights. They're ahead in the place. But Fnatic find these random ways to hold on.
And all of it is through their top laner. You think about how the bottom lane was getting crushed. sOAZ uses his advantage, teleports bottom side, gets 2 kills, picks up the turret. Well, this time, it looks like the Baron is lost. 3,000 health, gets both carries, and changes the course of the game.
Oh my god, Baron then helps him out a little bit in the end. Also, with the passive of Sion, IG know they can't stay around because Sion can just kill one of the squishies right there. Before this Baron player, it was IG invading S5, and at this point, Fnatic should know they're running S5. And yet they engaged head-on to them without proper vision, and that was why they lost the last fight here. So Fnatic needs to slow down a little bit on the aggression, but at the same time, they are somewhat keeping up.
Yeah, they're still within touching distance, and sOAZ is 100% KP on a top lane Sion when 2 early ganks went towards bottom lane. That is so impressive for him to stay relevant.
But still, 6 kills on this Kaisa. IG, they have all the tools to win this game. They get the first Drake. It's not going to be a big Elder Drake kind of game just yet. And they can go back to playing around Baron and look to force a fight, or doing what they did before. 5-man group towards the enemy jungle.
Death Brush.
The classic here is Baolan pulled back in. It's going to go down! Glitch for a little while longer, but Caps finally collects it.
This time it's actually Fnatic.
Oh, here we go! sOAZ! Good shot off, but JackeyQSS flashes out. They still get the next kill. Rookie's actually dead. JackeyLove needs to play amazing to save this fight, but I think Fnatic have more than enough. Ning, he wanted to pick up Healy. He does flash out over the wall, and JackeyLove commits the heal to save his jungler.
Oh, sOAZ once more. This time, it was Fnatic waiting in the brush. IG ends up face-checking with Baolan, and then right after the re-engage, sOAZ flashing over the wall.
And this time it is IG that need a miracle play, because off the back end of that, Fnatic are going to go towards the Baron.
It's still early. Baolan is alive. He's on his way. Ning is here. We'll get some HP at the red buff. Duke, no ult in his side, but Fnatic, they're gonna drop low in here.
JackeyLove might kill everyone here. Duke is going to start it off at the front line. JackeyLove going to supercharge her in. Fnatic are just trying to get the Baron, but what is it going to cost them? Baolan into the backside of the map. sOAZ already dead in the front side. Is that zombie Sion? And that's 2 kills for JackeyLove. Going to keep stacking them up as Fnatic are trying to finish it up. But Ning, he gets the Baron. JackeyLove, he's grabbed the triple kill. It's going to be a penta. JackeyLove, oh my God, rookie. How dare you? How dare you steal the penta?
Well, he got a quadra at least. They get the Baron as well. This game, back and forth 24/7. Fnatic win a fight. They go Baron. It was greedy, and they got punished.
Yeah, it certainly did, and JackeyLove, the carry that did not go down, was instrumental in that fight. IG can now look to push in, break the base, and what was an even game, going to be about a 7,000, 8,000 gold lead.
Not particularly even right now. This inhibitor will be forfeit for Fnatic, and they're greed around the Baron pit. IG going to go back, spend their gold, and try and finish off this game.
But it's just a fast game. It's chaos everywhere. It's just non-stop aggressive plays. Objective calls, invades into the jungle. Both teams, they only have one thing in their head, and that's just forward, forward, forward.
I think when people saw this lineup, this is what they were hoping for, just non-stop action. And you can see how much damage JackeyLove is able to pump out, but the fact that his front line just maintains their positioning on the map, as you said, so early in this game, rookie already rotating across. This was a risky play.
Exactly, because the support, Baolan, while he died first, he was alive. He's in this fight from the get-go. It was not a 5 versus 3. Do not get to see rookie steal Penta in the end. Broxah knows he could have tried to get that Baron, but the call itself was too risky.
A tough smite under pressure that just barely missed by Broxah. But IG have a lot to celebrate for as they picked up the maximum from that play, despite the early pickup from Fnatic. And again, they'll try and play around this brush and do what they can, but this pressure is a little too much from IG.
And this is a massive gold advantage, but I do want to track how IG close out this game because we've seen it being played at such a high tempo. You would like them to maybe slow it down a little bit, try and work around the map, but it looks like the aim of the game is just to group up and go as 5.
I mean, you've been fighting for 26 minutes. Why stop now? Look for another one.
And again, under the turret, caps low from rookie's ulti. sOAZ takes some chip in the front, but not too bad. Oh, good double stun, but no follow-up available.
And Syndra at this stage of the game is just so hard to deal with. Everywhere you go is going to be a threat. No ultimate for a couple of minutes. They just gotta fight anyway.
Yep. There's, look, they find caps. They're just gonna zone them off the turret and take it down. Still Supers pushing in the midsection. They have Baron for a minute still as they try and finish off the game.
They're so much stronger right now. JackeyLove is insanely fed. Looking for these Nexus turrets. They got super minions mid.
Maybe this time the Penta will not be stolen as sOAZ cruises into the front side and ties up Baolan. But he goes back in. They're just going to clean them up here, Caps. He does get a kill, but sOAZ is dead. Ning already picked up the first one. 4v4 as sOAZ comes back around. Finally dies in zombie form, but Duke, a massive knock up there on JackeyLove. He's going to surf in and finish everything off. A good feather storm there for Rekkles, but it's just not enough as Invictus Gaming stay undefeated and take down Fnatic.
And this was their most standard, most classic IG game ever. Non-stop fighting everywhere. Never stop going forward. And sure, there are times where it's a little bit too aggressive, but you know if you keep forcing fights, you're gonna win most of them.
And maybe just a brief glimpse into that legendary JackeyLove solo queue prodigy 80 carry that we've heard so much about over the years. Finishes 11, 1, and 8 for his team. Whilst we built up the mid lane matchup, the jungle went heavily in IG's favor, and that 80 carry position looked very clean.
Yeah, I really like the game plan with Ning plus the Leona. Combine the two for early ganks against Rekkles and Hylissang. Super, super effective. But it's also the kind of game where if you are Fnatic, at least when I talked to them or saw what they said before the game, before they had to play IG, sorry, they said, IG, if we go late game, we will beat them. This Fnatic team didn't want to go late game. At least it didn't look that way. They wanted to fight everything in the early game, and they went super aggressive and played the game on IG's terms.
But I think you have to credit IG for that as well. Their control around objections, their ability to set up vision, you know, to get inside tracks once Fnatic did take that dragon. They played the map, I think, better than people give them credit for. And this is the kind of IG that does give you hope as an LPL fan that could make that deep run that
it's
was
fast and it's fun, man.
the best regular season team during the LPL. They are just so fun.
I think measured when it mattered, but when it didn't, they just let the chaos rip. For more on how Invictus Gaming got the better of the matchup, though, here is the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you, Pastry. We set it up to be a spicy one, and a spicy one it was. However, it fell in favor of IG. What is this?
It was
after all of that setup, you were the one who said Fnatic would win, and now you're sitting here drumming on my desk.
Win-win, Dash. And here's the thing, though. I am so excited to see this Invictus Gaming. So making the prediction for Fnatic, you see Duke, you see the slow team fighting, you're like, Invictus Gaming can't team fight. They're playing right into their weakness. They're just going to get rolled over. No. Ning's diving towers. JackeyLove's picking up pentakills. You get rookie Syndra, his signature champion. This is what LPL fans have been waiting for, and IG finally brought it to the international stage.
It was absolutely an IG-style game, and the Swain was a little bit perplexing from Caps. I would have liked to see a rise there, but you're kidding yourselves if IG does anything but last pick the mid lane for Rookie when they're up against this, and Rookie is going to get a winning matchup. So that is where they generated a lot of pressure, and that enabled them to make so many of those dives bottom lane of the early game.
I was just really impressed with Ning this game. You know, I criticized him for being a coin flip player. You know, he landed on the right side today. There are a couple of moments where you could criticize what was he doing, but for the most part, he invested heavily into the bot side. You heard the casters talking about level 6, this Kaisa Leona.
Flip it.
That is when it turns on. But they were making plays beforehand.
Yeah, this one flip comes up kill for sure.
And
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and there is reason to be critical of Ning. In the regular split, he was not performing. He probably had his worst split in his entire career. For whatever reason, he came back into Worlds, he pulls out his Zac, he now shows up on the Xin Zhao. This is a Ning we haven't seen in 8 weeks.
In the game of feast or feed between Ning and Hylissang, it appears that Hylissang came out on the feed side more than the feast this time around. But again, we did talk about these two players as being somewhat coin flip, and that if they have a great day, they could be the turning tide for their squad.
And the thing for Hylissang is throughout this year, we felt that in the EULCS, he's become more consistent, a little more restrained. But when the pressure really got put on, he really tried to make a lot of these plays. And what we saw from Fnatic was a willingness to just constantly fight them, thinking maybe we can find this pick, maybe we can turn this advantage in our favor, but they never go on to JackeyLove. IG were always ready to fight, and if it wasn't for a couple of standout plays from sOAZ, this would have been a much more one-sided game from IG.
Yeah, one thing Fnatic did do that a lot of other teams haven't been able to is when they make the desperation team fight, it's actually set up very well, right? That was such a smart flank position from sOAZ. This, though, was very poor judgment by Fnatic when they're going for this, because 4 people were going to be alive from IG the entire time, not to mention the Kaisa's going to have an easy time stacking up
12
to
HP.
full Ginsu's rage. Sure, 12 HP. Best case scenario, you get aced, right, and give away all the shutdown gold, and worst case scenario, you lose the game.
What I see in that situation is a Fnatic saying we're at least like 5k gold down. Our best case scenario is we take Baron off the board and we stall for another 7 minutes. Maybe we can find another good fight.
Are you defending that Baron play and calling it a good call?
All I'm saying is I'm trying to understand why they made the decision.
For sure,
right?
yeah.
Because whether or not it was that, like, I agree that the decision itself isn't good, but I'm trying to understand why they went for it. And in my head, it's this is our best shot. And in the map and the way they read it, I think that they were much further down behind than they thought they were. So they tried to make the play. And as we saw, like, when JackeyLove is 6-1 and 6 going into that Baron pit, even if it's a 3v5, he's more than happy to clean up. And that's like a perfect playground for the Kaisa.
JackeyLove, MasterCard player of the game this time around. What a performance by him up against Rekkles in the bot lane.
Youngest player on the squad, the Prodigy ADC, JackeyLove finally gets his debut. The only time the international audience has turned their eyes towards him. He steps forward, he has bad flashes, he throws games, he gets smashed. But he gets his revenge today when it counts.
Yeah, I loved watching JackeyLove play. I thought he was great. I wasn't as confident as Frost was into the Rekkles JackeyLove matchup. And admittedly, he got a bit of jungle assistance, but he still definitely proved that he is a top-tier AD carry, and I was very impressed with what he could do.
I think a big difference between Rekkles and JackeyLove, especially on an international stage, obviously there's much more footage of Rekkles, but Rekkles never really, for me, on an international stage, has been the killer lane instinct.
That's
you know,
true.
who doesn't play it like the Uzi, like he does maybe back domestically in the EULCS. JackeyLove always goes for the kills. So in terms of who was ever going to win the lane phase, I'd always give it to JackeyLove. It's still going to be dependent on matchup, but I would have given the team fights to Rekkles if he had ever gotten there.
Yeah, I will say that I'm excited for the rematch between these teams, just because one team wins the first of the double round robin. As we've seen in Worlds, does not mean they're going to win the second. IG had a very good early game plan here, and they had red side for the mid lane counterpick. When we flip that around, give Caps a mid lane counterpick, and he can be on the pushing side, I want to see how the mid game and late game happens in that, because I still saw creative things out of Fnatic with the Sion flank towards the end of the game, but I think the correct team won today.
We're going to get an interview with JackeyLove after the break, but IG now sits at 2-0 in control of this group in first place. This was one of the groups we had talked about. Perhaps there are opportunities for 100 Thieves or G-Rex to make a run at first or second, but the more evidence I'm seeing from these two teams, Fnatic and IG, it seems to me that it's really going to be just a race between the two of them for who gets first and who gets second.
I mean, I think this is locked and loaded. I mean, unless we see drastic changes here, Invictus Gaming and Fnatic just look on a completely different tier comparatively to the rest of the group.
We've got more Worlds action ahead of us as 100 Thieves and G-Rex face off in our next game. Find out who gets their first win after the break.